the movement alive. We have to strengthen revolution. Lazima sasa tujue kwamba we have to be tactical because tumejua kwamba we are at war, na hatuwezi tu sasa kuwa tunaenda vitani na mkono mtupu. So tunasema kwamba this is what we are saying for anyone not to misunderstand us, na watu waelewe msimamo wetu. Sisi si mbuzi kwamba tutapelekwa tu kichinjioni. We have to defend ourselves. Okay? In as much as we want to respect constitution, but we are expecting those who are vested kusimamia constitution, they also follow. If you come in an unconstitutional way, that is how we will treat you. Unakuja na kuni, si tunakuja na petroli na kiberiti. Ukikuja constitution na uniform na badge yako, uje ujitambulishe, we will respect you. Alafu tumesema watu ukija kuabduct mtu leo, tunaanza ku-unmask your faces, then tutakutafuta ukiwa peke yako. Maanake that is your personal responsibility. Kama wewe ni muaji peke yako, si muaji ukiwa na group. So tutaenda tu pole pole before tumalize 5 out of the 50, then they will and have a different discussion. Yeah, we go to Kim, then Ayo, then KOT. Karibu sana KOT, Sonko.
I hope I'm really audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. It's good that I really followed Kowino cause my sentiments would really fit in Kowino and Fabish. Personally, I ascribe more to the thinking of Fabish than to S. Kowino's. But I really understand what Kowino is trying to say. So what we have here with Kowino and Fabish are two people going to town. One is using the eastern bypass, the other one is using the greater northern bypass. But now they have to meet somewhere huko mbele because ultimately the goal ni wafike tao. So I will really not start echoing what Fabish has said because I'll just be doing a lot of repetition. So I'll try doing what Kowino has been doing. So I'll try suggest something in Kowino's line of thinking, and then we see what he has to say. Huwezi pinga kila kitu. So Kowino, this for you. Now that we have Cherargei and this 80% na hii matamshi yake sijui statistics sasa alifanyianga wapi. We were here pushing for people to be active citizens and do a lot of emails wakikatana na kitu. And we really pushed a lot of emails mpaka tukacrash your site ya Senate. But in no time Cherargei ashapitia zote na najua contents ni ati 80% washapitia. So what are they trying to tell you? They are trying to tell you no matter how much you refuse, the end goal was not ukubali ama ukatae. Tulikuwa tunajua utaki hata tukiileta. So it has to be a discussion and itashinda hapo mkiongelelea mchoke akili. So what if we take that away from them? And this is the way I would suggest from the way my brain is wired if I try to play Kowino. I suggest we accept. Tukubali ni sawa. Hata sisi tunataka referendum sababu sisi tuko in support ndio tuonyeshe wa Kenya. Sisi ndio wengi. We are part of that 80%. Wacha tukubali. The next step for a referendum to happen would require a lot of publicity. But tumekuwa tuna hiyo nguvu ya kupush hizo emails. Tuanze kupush hashtags referendum, 7-year term referendum, in support. And then now we start asking for the reconstitution of the IEBC. That will really work for us. Now they have to put the IEBC to reconstitute that IEBC and you hold referendum. We are not sure what they will do then, but if they really fall for it and reconstitute the IEBC, nani alikwambia IEBC ikiformiwa kitu ya kwanza haitakuwa kung'oa the move of the motion aende kwa alikuwa anaenda na motion yake, because there are no rules to the game. Ideally it is just a means to an end. If you get to twist what is thrown at you and use it to meet your goals. Hakuna mahali itasemekana ati ABC kifomiwa kitu ya kwanza ni kufanya referendum. Hapana, unaweza kwanza ng'oa move wa mwisho na kosekane, and then when you recall that guy, then wauliza nini mlikuwa mnasema. Alternatively, you can incorporate what Karongo Adhango has been saying about this 4-year thing. Karongo is of the opinion that if Kenyans can stomach the current crop of politicians for 5 years, then 7 is even unthinkable. So we call for that referendum even after kung'oa move wa motion waleta mwingine. Now we'll tell them we need a referendum, na moja ni ya hiyo 7-year term. The other option, kutakuwa na ballots mbili, ya 7-year term na ingine ya 4-year term, na walete hiyo kitu huku, and then see what will happen to those guys. They might take the bait, they might reconstitute IBC, which is very unlikely, very small chance, but if they do, we win. If they don't, then I really think they really fall quick fast, and then all this nonsense in Ametiwa Paracheragei will be a thing of the past, and then we remain very, very focused. That's me.
Hey, can you guys hear me? I hope you can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Because I'm about to piss off all of you. I'm not here to say anything that you want to hear. I'm not here to say anything. Whatever views I have here is from me and me alone. I'm not here to.
You are not. You are no longer a speaker.
I hear you guys crying foul all over the place.
Nani anaongea kwanza? Hata sisikii.
Sasa una internet na wewe ni host. Unajua nani anaongea?
Nani anaongea?
Niko Wina anaongea.
Ayo anaongea Fabish IZ off, na ndio maana nakuambia namwambia you are no longer a speaker in alone.
Unajua huyu Ayo sijui huwa anatumia nini gani. Sasa mtu anaongea na mic yake iko muted.
But mimi namsikia na mic yake iko on.
Mimi namsikia. Mic yake iko on, sawa. Endelea Ayo. Wacha nikuache.
We? Okay, here's the thing, guys. I want to say this. You guys, it is one thing to come on these spaces, to rant for 30 minutes. I had a guy here ranting. Na mnapiga ndugu yangu kwa wino vita. Mnamrushia anapata bullets left, right and center. Niko like, bwana hao ndo wanapiga kwa wino kwa nini? Kumbe, but anyway, msikuwe hivyo. Nataka mkuwe wase objective. Unajua naelewa mli lose objective kitambo sana, lakini si kupenda kwenyu pia. Unajua mkieka siasa kwa roho, muongeze na emotions na feelings, mnaanza kuchukiana, saa zingine mnaitana names hapa ndani. It doesn't add anything to the movement. Haisaidii anything completely to the movement. And I want to tell you guys one thing. This is my unpopular opinion. This movement was decolorized kitambo sana. It was decolorized kitambo sana. And I don't know, after 25th, was it 25th Kowino? Yes, after 25th, I always tell people that if we did not achieve whatever we wanted to achieve on that day, we still have a long way to go when it comes to achieving whatever we want to achieve. And right now, the only way we can achieve our objectives as a movement is to go the constitutional way, and that is go to the ballot. And if you want to go to the ballot, what does that mean for us? We have to wait for the IBC to be reconstituted, because at the end of the day, it's the only constitutional way. that we can achieve what we want to achieve. However, regardless of it being reconstituted, we still, if we do not come out massively to vote, then tutarudi tu hapa tuanze tena kupiga stories za jaba. Nasikia wengine mnataka kuform nini inaitwaje, mnataka kuchukua army mform sijui and all that. Guys, I'll say that from a point of knowledge and from a point of mimi hata I don't care. Hizo ni stories za jaba. Kama mlishanunuliwa, nasikia wengine sijui walipewa pesa ngapi, sijui nini, wengine wamejoin gava. Mnataka kuniambia saizi ndio mnataka kwenda kuongea na army. Army iko kwa mfuko ya nani? Iko kwa ina support nani saizi as we speak? Let's be factual, number one. Let's be factual. Let's talk from a factual point of view, and let's to see sikujua nyinyi ma script writers. Whatever I'm hearing hapa ni vitu zenye muona Netflix. To be honest, hizi vitu zenye mnaongea hapa, to be honest, ni stories za Netflix na hizo ni fiction. When I get you guys are
go keep those scripts to yourself. You are not here to lectures and utuambie watu wote ambao tuko hapa we are 100 plus, si tunaongea kuhusu revolution. Wewe ngoja uende upige kura peke yako. That's why I say we are now going to be radical. Wewe ukiwa unafikiria wewe nenda ukate kura yako, tutakuona after election. But we believe that we cannot remove Ruto, a tyrant, from an election. So not kwamba ati sababu unakuja kwa space.
Let him finish bro.
No. Wewe umesikia mtu anakuja na kutuambia ati tunaongea mambo ya Netflix. Really? Si tunaongea hapa 3 hours tukipanga, people are being kidnapped, people are being killed, and then you are telling us is that Netflix when people are killed? You know, sometimes don't come and insult people. Alafu hata kama unasema ulikuwa unakuja solution, please be human sometimes. Saizi tunaongea kuna watoto wa watu hawajulikani wako wapi, mama zao wanalia, alafu unakuja hapa kutuambia stories za Netflix. You know, sometimes ati sababu sijui uliparticipate kwa maandamano mara 2 mara 3, na unakuja kutuambia kwamba you are that knowledgeable, you are the most genius. Don't come and tell us this bana. Sometimes let us have sanity on ourselves. This thing is not working. Election is not working. If election is working, mbona Rigathi Gachagua anakuwa impeached in an unconstitutional way? So you think that you can be greater than that Rigathi Gachagua, or you think you know better than him? Someone that has been in this regime, people that they were dining together. You think now you know better than him? Ayo bana, please. Hapana. Hata kama utasema sijui, nimeona mkisema kwamba ati sijui ninatoa watu wala ambao I don't listen to opinion, but there are some things, some bullshit I cannot listen and I cannot entertain. But tuambieni ukweli, watu wanauawa, watu wanakuwa kidnapped, watu wanakuwa tortured, alafu unakuja kusema ati unaona hizo vitu kwa Netflix. Really? That is why nasema kwamba from your talks we can judge that you are conflicted and maybe you are working either for this regime or you have interest with this regime. Yani tudanganyane. Mimi naongea ukweli. Hata wakati Morara alienda nje I call him out, na bado nasema hata mpaka saizi is conflicted. So tusikuja hapa unasema ati you are not coming to massage. Who tell you to massage our ego? Si tunasema kwamba we want to brace ourselves. We know that we are going to, to have a rough time ahead, but that is the only option that we have to face. KOT, welcome.
Sala, huku mambo ni gani bwana? My good friend ayo. Itabidi urudi tena baadaye.
Wacha yeye akakunywa ile maji Owina anaambia watu wakunywe. Wacha kwanza akakunywe maji baridi. Hata mimi Owina hapa amenituma nikakunywe maji. Na nimekuja jagi mzima. Na bado nikimpatia mic tena atanituma nikakunywe.
Itabidi uongeze hiyo maji, Fabish, nimeona haijatosha.
Sawa. So guys,
KOT, just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, Aki ladies, ebu we request the mic. Hata sisi we actually also have a voice, sababu hawa wanaume right, left and center. Mimi niko tu hapa Wanjiro nimefinyiliwa. So ladies, request the mic also. We also want your voices to be heard. Hii revolution si akina Kowino right, left and center nini. So requestini mic tafadhali wasichana. Si wasichana, my beautiful ladies. Aya, KOT, go ahead.
Wanjiro ameamua kuja na 2/3 gender rule. Anyway, iko sawa tu, tunakubali. But guys, umeona hiki tu mmeweka hapo juu. Cherargei has said 80% of Kenyans support the term extension. Bana mimi nilikuwa tu hapo, yani almost close kwake bwana, akiongea hiyo upuzi, and I was like, sijui niamuke tu nipite na huyo jamaa, but nikakumbuka KICC huko chini kuna police station na kushikwa Friday, guys, mnaelewa tu bwana, hadi Monday ama tupotee. So honestly
unaogopa
me,
kushikwa?
tulia bana. Sasa nikishikwa nani atakuja kuongea kwa space hapa jamani? Tulia bana, relax. Acha nikupange.
Bwana wamesema msiogope bwana.
Mimi siwezi shikwa Friday. Mimi siwezi shikwa Friday. Acha nishikwe Monday. Hii Friday no. It can never happen to me. So guys, honestly mimi leo nimeenda hapo KICC kusubmit my memoranda. Nilituma na email lakini niko na email like haitapewa that priority. Ikabidi tu mimi nitoke kwangu polepole niingie pale KICC man solo. Nimefika hapo, I thought hiyo line ni line refu, so watu ni wengi, kumbe kuna some other people there were being deported. Mimi nasema deportation because wanatafuta kazi Qatar ya kwenda kuosha vitu mnajua huko, and I was like sawa tu. So Cherargei alikuwa amekaa hapo, anaanza kusema sijui nimepata messages nyingi kwa SMS, nimepata kwa WhatsApp, and because sikuwa na microphone karibu na mimi, karibu niseme ni mimi nilipeana hiyo namba yako utumiwe. But surprisingly, that guy says hizo messages amepata zote. Na hizo vitu zote amepata kwa simu yake. Na pia ile opinion watu walikuwa wanapeana hapo hivyo on the floor, at almost 80% supports the extension of term limit. Ninashangaa jamaa utaona aje honestly. But then sisi tunakuja tukurant, tunapiga kelele. Mimi niko 100% sure that watu tuko hapa 129 wenye tunaongea hapa, less than 10 walikuwa KICC kusubmit their memoranda. Niko 100% sure. Ndio maana hata Morara ile siku akisema mnapiganga kelele na yeye hapa alafu anashikwa peke yake huko, hakuna mtu anatokea. Naweza agree na yeye, though vitu nyingi si agree na yeye. But guys, tusikuwe tunakuja kurant hapa tunaongea sijui nini, but we are not giving those solutions. Kama kuna such functions kama hizo, it doesn't matter kama utabductiwa ama utafanywa nini, but try as much as possible you present yourself there physically, especially kama inafanyika hapa Nairobi and you are within, ensure you come there, request, hata kama ni kuongea uongee, you air out your grievances. But mimi leo nimerudi home saa hizi, but I'm coming back home as a very angry person because I requested to present on that floor for almost 5 times. Hao jamaa wakaninyima chance. Nikasema bwana, mimi ndio mdogo hapa honestly. Naona watu wengi mnapea hapa ni watu wako age mates ya Kowino. Unajua Kowino anakuanga 26 years, amenishindia miaka 2. Nasema mko age mate ya kina Kowino hapa na watu wengine. Mbona mpatii sisi vijana?
Wewe mimi ni mzee bwana. Wewe mimi sirika yako. Mimi ni mzee sana bwana.
So hiyo ndio kitu mimi ilinikasirisha because they don't want to give the young people that chance to express themselves, and even ladies, they are not being given that chance. Unapata tu sijui mimi ni chairman sijui wa sijui wapi, and I'm like okay ni sawa tu, but now these guys I came to realize that probably they must have been ile kitu umesema ayo yenye Fabish mwambia ayo ile sasa mimi sijui ni gani, but because mimi sijaiona Mkenya tu ako na kilitimamu anaweza kuja kusema ati we support the extension of term limits from 5 years to 7 years, na jamaa anaongea English vizuri. Wewe usiniambia tu jamaa hajasoma, he knows what he's doing. Most of those guys who are presenting on that floor, honestly, they have been compromised, and because some of us who are not been compromised tulienda tu hapo from nowhere, we were denied that chance ya kuongea. And so guys, mimi honestly I believe like this government, the only language they believe is Article 37 of the Kenyan Constitution. If you don't know, kindly download your constitution from Play Store. Extension of term limits. On 11th November, we have that case ya Adani being itakuwa pale Milimani Law Court. Mimi I request guys, I honestly request that sisi wote tutoke hapo, we go there peacefully to Milimani Law Court. Even as much as our lawyers, the advocates will be presenting on the floor. Wacha pia sisi huko nje our voices be heard, because this government, the moment tunanyamaza, they take the advantage. So we can come here, we rant, but also let us show up on the ground. Let us do what we have to do. If you are going to achieve, you want to achieve, but let me just be here to listen to you guys. But nimeshukuru sana for the host and the co-hosts, na pia Ayo bana, we Fabish, patia Ayo chance bana. Ayo lazima alikuwa amepitia huko Southern Bypass, lakini alikuwa anakuja huku Eastern Bypass. Kindly mimi nime request tu mpatie chance, na akiongea tena vibaya bana, uniweke co-host nikusaidie. Ayo
Ayo sio ati Ayo nimemwacha kwanza kunywa maji, atakuja hapo. Unajua wale kitu amecomment hapo. Wale kitu Ayo amecomment hapo. You know, katika revolution it can never been achieved in one day, because you are dealing with people who have all mechanism, the machineries, and intelligence. Sasa nyinyi wa mukienda one strike, then now you need to come and strategize and come with your tactics. Sasa watu wanafikiria, nimesema kitu ya kwanza, it is to deal with them how they are dealing with you. Unaona kama saizi vile tunapeleka hii mambo ya ndani kotini. Haya, unaona bila amekuja tena, amekuja na Bill Gates, na akasema hasa Bill Gates amepewa immunity. Huyu sasa mwezi kupeleka kotini kama ndani. You see? So even us, tukienda street tulikuwa unatuletea tear gas, but now here unatuletea sasa goons. So hata sisi tunahitaji goons ku counter na your goons. That is the first phase. Unaona? And what pains me, KOT, what pains me ni mtu kutuambia ati tungoje tumtoe Ruto 2027 kwa kura. Alafu ni mtu ambao anajua uko Kenya, tena uko ndani ya revolution. Hizi vitu zote Ruto amefanya. To an extent they are impeaching his deputy president, something that even America, with the oldest democracy, 238 years, they have never managed to impeach their own. We wait to just 2 years. Alafu unaniambia ati election itakuwa tu rahisi ati kwenda tu kutumbukiza kura kacha. Ati alafu uone Ruto akikuja ameandika conceding speech. I, William Ruto, having listened to the will of the people, the voices of the people have spoken. Ruto. You know. So tonight wote tuko this country bana, we know. Kwa hivyo vitu zingine kama hizi zinanipandisha. Kuna watu wengi ambao wanatuma mic na siwaoni, ngoja ni refresh space. In the meanwhile, Ayo kaa hapa kwanza tusaidiane kidogo. Na unajua napenda ukiwa hapa. You are human, tafadhali. Tulikuwa tumeambiwa 2/3 gender, space hii ikaanguka. Co-host.
Hata sijasikia RSG for a minute. Lakini hata sisi tuangalie the gender rule. Aki ladies, don't allow akina Ayo, Kowino, Fabish kunini. We also have our voices heard, so request the mic. Nikiona anyone already here, I'm accepting the mic. Yani nafunga too much on accept, because we also need our voices to be heard. Isikuwe ni monologue ya wanaume. Kama ni wanaume waite masculine party there on top. I'm joking anyway. Human Uprising, karibu.
Thank you. And today I am waging a different war. Wewe kina KOT Sonko, watu wa ground, I am here for you. Hiyo gate ilikuwa inafaa ikuwe gani? Kila saa they've used a different tactic today. Hawaja tupiga risasi the same way, lakini we need to agree better on the location of the gate. Mi ilibidi tu nimeka mahali ni inject hapo nje. What gate were we supposed to use? let's discuss locations better, watu wa ground. Now, if I can inject on the level of ladies, because Mimi, the gloves are off. Just don't wear your bra. Hiyo ni weapon ingine fulani. Unamconfuse hivyo, ukiendanga. There's weapons we have that si lazima ikue risasi. Don't wear your bra, it works. And then, tuelewane na hiyo location. Which gate? They kept saying, ingia na ile gate, ingia na ile gate, ingia na ile gate. We, tulijaribu hadi tukakaa tu mahali. We are injecting hapo nje because there's some level of, we need to handle the streets better. Yeah.
Are you still speaking, human?
No. I've stopped it at that. I want to hear different opinions on that.
No,
Yeah.
sababu I thought you were giving us how to actually do it, go to the streets. So ndio nimepotea kidogo, but it's fine.
Yes. I'm trying to do that. To agree when we're going somewhere, which gate are we using? And for the females here, because I know there's no point of ever trying to fight with a man. I'm just advising. The streets have taught me some things. I'm just advising you. Just the theories are working. Just like confused. We also have weapons that are not bunduki, is what I'm trying to say.
So tutumie nini aje? Mambo ni
Wetu
mengi.
usivai bra. Akikuconfuse ndio unamwambia akiconfuse unaenda. Unamconfuse ukiendanga. I'm just trying to also make women because we know we don't have. Unaweza pigana na mwanaume, you can never. It's a lie. But there's weapons to it.
How do we use our superpower? How do we use our superpower?
Don't wear a bra on the streets. Wangari Maathai saved the whole Uhuru Park. Don't wear a bra.
Okay. Thank you. So women on the space, and my dear ladies, umesikia, I don't know if you are going braless or what you are going, but I would advise maybe wear sport bra. Ili tukiweza kukimbia tunaweza kimbia mbio. But yeah, as Human said, I think as much as Fabish is on this thing on, I like what he's saying on abduction and things. So as women and as ladies on the space and as ladies on the movement, if we have a superpower that we can use, let's use it. If it's going braless, I don't know. Let's do it. If I don't know now, if it's actually standing in front of standing in front of this movement, let's do it. Sababu our generation, sisi bado hatuna watoto. Nimesikia Koino hata alizaliwa juzi. I'm joking. We have to actually stand for the movement. We have to actually also make our faces out there. Akina Wangari Maathai, they were walikuwa mashujaa wetu. They showed us it can work. Hatutaki hii movement wakati watu wamechoka, watu wamepigwa right, left, center, watu there is that kuchoka yenye watu wako nayo right now, yenye watu wanasema msiende, msifanye hivi. We have to actually make a way on. We actually to have to have our voices heard, and tujengane, as in lazima Kenya isonge pia na sisi. Hatutaki watoto wetu wasome CBC ama wasome vitu zenye hazi nini. Hatutaki watoto wetu wakuwe vaccinated on vaccines za Bill Gates hapa na pale. Hatutaki watoto wetu waende shule and then they get abducted. No. We want change in our country, and change will also start with us. Fabish akisema yeye anashikilia maneno ya abduction, nobody will be abducted. Sisi as women in this group, wengine wanashikilia bills, wengine wanashikilia revolution side hii ingine. We are moving all as one front. Kwa nini? Kwa fight lazima kuna watu wengi, kuna watu wako wasema if you want to go Brares, I don't know how it's going to help, but just do it. Na tunasonga mbele. So Fabish. But I don't know who was next though. I have someone known as Sister who requested the mic. I don't know if she's here.
Yeah, I saw someone called Sister, but I can't trace her.
If not, I don't know who was next on the order. We can have sijasikia nani Astralink.
Hello everyone. Bunanisikia?
Yeah, tunakusikia.
Actually, I start by concurring and agreeing with Fabish na yo. Actually, mse mwenye anakuambia ati hii system we can vote it out is a lie. Hata venye senators usually walikuwa nasema like wana vote electronically. Even me, I even don't believe it because kama servers zilikuwa compromised, how sure are you even that electronically haijakuwa compromised? And then number 2, hata hizi vitu unasemanga like public participation. Actually, I don't indulge myself on such kind of things because I know the outcome itakuwa tu venye mwandika hapo juu Cherargei has said 80% of even if 100% mtaandika sijui comments vote against it, actually they'll just come up with what they planned as well before. So actually, me, I agree with that allegation, like we cannot vote Ruto out. Not unless we come up with a strategy and we go with the movement on how we end this regime within between now and 2027. But ikifika 2027, we don't have those resources actually. Ya kusema sijui kama ni votes ama sijui we monitor votes, polling stations ngapi ziko Kenya. Hizo resources za kuzifuatilia up to constituency, up to county level. Like hatuwezi, actually it needs a working system. And it's a fact. Hakuna venye, yes, tutakuwa tunasema kila siku venye yeye alikuwa anasema. Tutakuwa tuna rant kila siku, but the fact is like hiyo IBC wakiconstruct, they are going just to pick their own people na waweke hapo wakuja wa justify what they want come 2027. Na sasa watakuja na 6 piece. Acha hii saizi sijui ODM sijui iko na watu at least like a certain percent, maybe 30 ama 40%. Sasa pale 2027 hao watu watakuja na 6 piece, watakuja na system whereby kama ni MCA, kama ni UDA is a ruling party, inatoka na ile wakati ya Jubilee ilikuwa almost such kind of a thing happened whereby ina start na MCA ikienda hivi hadi kwa presidency. Sasa sijui 2028 sasa ndio kitaumana. Anyway, I don't know now which strategy can we come about, like tuende tu handle hii kitu, we end this for 2027, but ikifika 2027 mazee we will just be eunuchs. Hakuna chenye tutafanya, that's the fact. So that's why I agree with Ayo, like kama saizi kuna strategy, let's just plan something different, but hii bashing like hii kusema sijui 2027 chukua ID, there is nothing utafanya na hii ID by then. Hata saizi kusema twende street hatuwezi toa jamaa na makelele kwa street, still tutapigwa tu marisasi turudi kwa nyumba. That's what I can just say.
So wewe umesema nini? Malaki kidogo hapo umekataa kule kwa election na umekataa huku kwa street. Starlink.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, so what is the solution? Huko kwa street na huko kwa election?
Actually, you know, there are many ways actually to approach this thing. And actually, if it's mobilization, tuna mobilize hadi public servants actually. Like una mobilize kila mse, if it's to bring almost everything down actually. And then we come up whereby we are strong as well. Kama ni kumobilize wase wenye wako, hakuna venye utasema like ni movement, hauna resources, chenye uko nayo tu ni kasimu na kabendera. Actually, by now we need the resources. Number two, we need funds. So msa akikuja kama politician akikam, huwezi sema like huyu jamaa alikuwa politician before. So since because alikuwa politician, you just rule him out. No, it doesn't work that way. And yet this person has like something to offer kidogo.
Okay. Yeah. Watu wako na ideas. Hizi spaces, people have immense ideas. Tutakurudi kwa Starlink. GDSK.
Thank you, guys. I want to appreciate this, the opportunity. But secondly, I also want to be brief. I am personally not perturbed by the proposal for extension of the presidential term. I believe Charangai and any other person can speak as much as they want. I am guided by the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya, Article 255, stipulates grounds on which a constitution can be changed. And among other things, it has stipulated how a referendum can be done and the proposal on the changes of constitution that can trigger a referendum. And one of them has categorically been stipulated as any changes on the term of the president. So whether they want to say 80% or 100% of the people have voted in proposition for extension of the presidential term, it is neither here nor there. It has got to go to the referendum. It has got to go to the popular vote. And that's how we shall decide whether we want extension or not. So what they're doing is just wasting their time. Unfortunately, not exclusively waste of time, because when these committees are sitting down and making these kind of deliberations, they're drawing money from the coffers, and so they're enriching themselves. So that's how it is. Secondly, I want to weigh in about what Ayo has said. I believe that the start of this movement was highly spontaneous. It was triggered by, exacerbation of, exacerbation of the situation in the economy. And most especially, we know the genesis when we talk about the finance bill 2024. But I think over time, we've lost our effectiveness, but it's not necessary to say we do not know what we are doing. People have suffered over time holding this kind of discussions are effective in one way or the other. It might not be as effective as we want, but remember, everybody has been bought. The media has been bought. The opposition has been bought by the government. No one speaks against the government. No one calls out the government. No one castigates the government for what it's doing. And so when we meet here and do this kind of discussions, we know it is one, therapeutic. Two, it is also enlightening us in a way of knowing that exactly the government is failing. As much as we might not strike hard change of the regime. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I see some new requests. Brian OS. Yeah, we go for Nelson, then we go for Brian. Thank you, Jides. Wonderful submission. Yes, I agree with Ayo. The only thing that make me disagree with him completely ni kuja kutuambia ati tunaongea stories za ajabu hapa. That is what I found it disrespectful. And I agreed with him 100%. We are not calling for maandamano kesho. And then what again, I disagree with him and I disagree with anyone ambao ananiambia mambo ya election 2027. That is what I totally disagree. Because I know that one cannot work. It won't work. Hakuna maajabu.
Fabish,
Yes.
before you continue, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Do you agree like a movement is not like a selection of some people? Hata saizi hata kama kuita watu kama kina Wanjigi, hata kina watu wenye walikuwa impeached kama kina Sonko. Do you believe that we need them in this movement?
Yeah, tutakuja hapo. Tutakuja hapo. We'll discuss on that because yes, the movement must have allies. The movement must have friends. There are a lot of things that build the movement. You know, you need people, you need resources. There are people that they understand the system because kama I think when ulikuwa umetoa submission ukasema even the public servants we need to infiltrate them because there's some information that we need even from the DC, even from the police, even from other public sectors. So yes, we need that is what we call tacticals. We need also intelligence in the movement, and there is no way we can get intelligence without getting those people that they defected from the system. So that one is not a problem. Of course, watu kama wakina Wanjigi, but what we are saying is if you are joining the movement, then we have also to understand what is your vested interest, because you know those people like Jim Wanjigi, anywhere he go, he first want to make sure that he cut his interest first. But now if you are talking of revolution for change, we cannot transact the way he has been transacting. Kwa unasema okay, ninawasaidia lakini after that, after tukigeti nahitaji this percentage, because the movement is not about percentage anymore, but it's about equitable and transparency and accountability and good governance for everyone.
And sometimes, even we can include deceit as well. That's how Ruto actually penetrated. So sometimes umeona like kama kina Ruto, kuna statement alisemanga kama ningetoa there will be nothing. So like they're now imposing almost everything. But now if we bring like those people like mtu kama Sonko, he knows the system very well. He knows it. Mtu kama huyo akuwe kwa movement. But now at any point hapo sasa ndo like kama tutakuwa na officials wetu pia pale mbele, like we can bring the true colors, we can as well go against the true colors, we can as well go against the kama saizi Gen Z tuko like
hizo huwezi kudiscuss places kama hii because there are those kind of people, they want to support the movement discreetly. They don't want to appear for one reason or the other, so that they not be that easily targeted. But what you are saying is yes, the movement, no, we can have movement, because don't think that everyone that is working for this regime is contented. Some people, they are just working there just because they are employed, but they are not happy and they are supporting the movement. Even from the police, don't think that every police is enemy of the movement. Some, their heart is true, but because hata watu ndio kuja wa support ni kuonyesha kwamba watajua kwamba we are not joking, we mean. So it depends with us. Kwanza, we have first to stand as a strong team. And we leave jokes aside. And we stand with one cause. Si kuja kuongelesha hii leo tunasema ni movement ya kutoa Ruto. Kama tunasema ni election, why are we wasting time? Si tuende to join hizo political parties, tuseme kwamba tungoje election. So, and unajua kwamba election haiwezi. Wacha kuende kwa Nelson, alafu tukuje kwa Brian, then Pioneer. Nelson T.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, everybody. Okay, this is a revolution. And a revolution actually doesn't take a day or a year. Maybe it will take several years. That's a fact. But then we need to appreciate the fact that we are in this together. So what's the call? What do we want? Because if there is something I don't understand, at a personal level, have you ever asked yourself, what do you want? That's one of the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Because I think People like Morara came and now they are in the system, I guess. They're not as clear as they were. So I think one of the things we need to understand and we need to be clear about is what do we want? Okay, thank you, guys.
Okay, yeah, short and brief. What do we want? Okay, that is powerful, Nelson. Was it Brian, then Pioneer?
Yeah. Hey guys. My contribution is going to be around the movement and drawing experiences from from history in other democracies and countries. I feel like if people took time to actually try to read about some of the similar movements in other places of the world, I think all of us will come to a consensus that most of these movements, as spontaneous as they sound, they oscillate around a common issue. And this issue, if it is not sustained, that momentum is lost. So, for example, I can even use the so-called Gen Z, because almost immediately when the regime or when the government realized that, okay, people seem to have a problem with something called the finance bill, we can just, we can just put a stop on that. And you even saw on media that people were even asking the protesters, you guys, what do you want? You said that, you had an issue with the finance bill, the president listened to you, he rejected it. So why are you still in the streets? So you very quickly, you will notice that if it is based on something that the oppressor can, can in a way try to get rid of, then it's not sustainable. The other thing I think why we seem to have lost momentum, I don't think the momentum is lost. I feel like maybe people usually have, they come alive when they see people on the streets and, when tear gas is thrown all over. But if you talk to people, I take time to talking to people, the people who sell me groceries, like I just talk to different people and the sense I get is that they understand. They might not have the language to really put whatever it is that they're experiencing in an action plan format. This is why I feel, I understand many people are like, yo, we don't need leadership. But if you look at things like the Black Lives Matter, you look at the Green Movement, you look at the Occupy Wall Street, you look at all these movements that have been that came up in the recent past, they started at a high tempo, and then now they went on a lull. Part of the reason is that there was no organizational structure, there were no action plans, there was no leadership. I think having everyone on board, the Sonkos, the Moraras, the Wanjigis, whoever it is, as long as the idea is getting rid of this regime. Some people will say, oh, you know what? These people are tainted. Us, we want clean people. We want new people. Everybody, like everyone has their own way of looking at it. I tend to be a bit pragmatic. I look at things as not what I want them to be, but as they are. And also, understanding who we are as Kenyans. You will notice Moi in 1992, when the Section 2 of the Constitution was repealed, everybody thought that we were going to vote him out. But that never happened because we had different centers of the opposition. We had Jaramogi, we had Matiba. All these people wanted the same thing, but they were doing it, they were charting their own ways. It took us 10 more years for us to realize, and there are different characters there. You had Raila, who had an issue with Wamalwa. They had to, decide that, you know what, I don't have a problem with you, but now what is the goal? KANU needs to go. So the rallying call was KANU. This movement, it needs a rallying call. I think we already have it. And it's called Ruto must go. And I feel like I feel like there'll be a lot of progress in this. However, if we become very sectarian and very purist in our approach, where we and I'm saying this because of the things I see, especially in the economy. I know many people who have been if anyone who buys groceries, if you go to the market, you'll see the kini tomato ya Tanzania, everybody wants it. No, that's why he woke up in the morning and decided that this education thing, it has to change. This health thing, it has to change. Value, I'm rejecting this bill. It needs to be a very high threshold. And then one more last thing. Kenya's between 18 and 24 years, that demographic. In 2022, the numbers showed that there were 8 million. Only 2 million registered to vote. So there's this 6 million that needs to register. If Gen Zs or whatever it is that this revolution is, if we have that vote, I can promise you, Ruto will be scared. Right now, Ruto is not scared because he knows you people don't have any votes. You'll make noise on Twitter and in the streets. But when it boils down to voting, IBC doesn't care how angry you are. It only counts the votes. So, yeah. Asanteni sana.
Okay, thanks a lot. Pioneer.
Yes. How is everyone? I hope everyone is okay. So I just wanted to mention one or two, three things. I haven't been on the spaces for a while now, Fabish. I know you have noticed. And Kina Generali, how are you? Fundi I forget the last one. Wanjiro and the rest. I hope you're doing good. Ras G, I see you. I think we're now in agreement. If you've heard me speak before, then I think we have now come together. We have set an agenda that we need to get rid of the head because it is the main problem. Huyo Ruto ndo the main problem. As you have seen, as you have seen now, Adani, I'm so thankful and so grateful that it's through a lot of people's efforts, and these are that we cannot see in the movement, but there are people fighting in different fronts. Okay, now I think it's time to now accumulate the resources that we will need for the revolution. And I know we don't need to talk about it much, because as we've seen before, we have people here who are ready to write reports to their bosses and tell them how the spaces during the day have been going on. But there are very many people who are willing to support the movement, especially business people. Do you know how many? There's so many companies that moved out of Kenya into Tanzania and Uganda, and it's not really because they have such favorable conditions there. Yes, they still need to kick up something to the government, to the people who occupy government in Tanzania, but it's not as bad as Kenya, because in Kenya you'll find that your life is threatened and you have to give up, like, let's say 50% of your company. And we don't really need to mention the people who you need to give up your company to. We know them. So there are many people who've moved Kenya and they want to support what's going on in Kenya, but they need assurances. And as you've been speaking about people like Wanjigi, yes, they want to know what they'll get out of the revolution. There's no way without knowing where how you're going to gain after the revolution. Some of these people, they're not really corrupt because they meant to be corrupt, but you're corrupt just because it's the only way you're going to do business. It's just like running any business in Kenya. You're corrupt either way. You'll have to tolea kanjo, you'll have to tolea, even when you're not doing business, you just have a car. Owning a car, you're corrupt, and I know you've paid someone somewhere at some point. Yeah, so it's just like, if and someone said, if you fix the system, then the people have to conform. If you say that people are to be executed like in Singapore, because about Singapore that much, if you say that, then even me, if I ever want to be a leader, I'll be afraid, because it means that I might get executed, my properties, my assets are seized, and my family suffers for the rest of their lives because they have my name and my name is tarnished, right? So we need to look at such things. Yes, the system needs to be changed. The system of governance needs to be changed, and they need to be afraid of us. And I won't stop reiterating or repeating that. We need to hit them where the pockets are. We need to hit them where it hurts, and that's their pockets. You need to know where your MCA lives. You need to know where your MP lives. Next time anything is going wrong, or in the next moment, go to your MP's home. Let him be afraid of his family's well-being, so that he cannot concentrate on getting goons to send to the streets. That's how you divert their own attention too. So, okay. And also, my last point is just don't forget the Council of Elders back home. We're all from different tribes. We're all from different communities. Don't forget about your Council of Elders. If there's one thing I've noticed is about the civic education is that people go to towns or centers. You know, those places we call center back home. Uko Moshava, tunaita center. Uko Sentasi, you find that people from different communities, different tribes, they just come there to work. And that's not the real reflection because guys go back home and they're answerable to their council of elders. Whatever the council of elders tell them during important events, like let's say funerals, weddings, mikutano ya area, those are the things that they follow. If they say vote this way, you'll find that majority of the people will vote this way, and not unless you're modern and exposed, you'll have to follow your council of elders. So take your civic education to your council of elders, talk to them. Most of them are in line with us, but approach them and tell them that, hey, in any important event back home, I'm talking about mashinani, jitokeze wewe mwenyewe, talk to those people. And this is the same tactic that politicians use. They use your events to talk to you. So counter them in those events. Don't let them be the only voice in such events. And I'm talking about weddings. I'm talking about funerals. I'm talking about all those things. So, okay. What this shows is approval. And once you get approval from the wazes, you know that the youth following you is not a big issue. But once you get approval from the wazes, even the oldest great grandma will come and vote for whoever is, let's say, the most, what can I say? The person who's most suitable for that position for your community and what your community needs. Yeah, and okay, and as you can see, Ruto has been doing official events. He hasn't been doing a lot of street rallies and all that because he knows what's happening. So anyway, let's remember, iron sharpens iron. So let's not be pacified. Msiende huko kunyonya mnyonyi na boshori huko mnakaa kama watoto. No, let's be tough. It's a tough time ahead. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Fundi wa Thamos. Fundi wa Thamos. It's like you're having problem with your network, with your mic. Okay, let's take Isaac then. Isaac Mwando.
Hey, hamjambo fellow criminal. Asante sana kwa space, Bwana Fabish, Wanjiru, Rasji, Fundi wa Thamos, Brian, DK, Ashville, and the rest of the speakers and the panel and my fellow listeners. Sorry, I've been jogging, so there is a little bit of noise. I apologize. My neighbor's dog. Sorry. But here's what I want to say. We are living in different times. You know, whatever used to happen in the 90s, the campaign strategies that were being used in the 90s, in the 2000s, are actually changing. And the evidence of this is the Gen Z's movement that we've seen. And this is not something that is going to die soon because we do have even alphas who are actually coming up, you know, and the spaces they will occupy in the political systems is going to be a very different space. So this is an evolution that is happening. And one thing I want to encourage you all, don't give up because times are changing. Even here in the United States, the politics in the United States are significantly changing, right? And you realize that now we are not living in the same times as before during the era of Moi, the era of Matiba, and that kind of thing, right? And something that I can even remind you, and I'm glad what the previous speaker said. I can't really remember. I think the one before the previous speaker, the strategies we need to adopt should be a strategy that we know is going to work, right? And one of the good things that we have, the advantage we have as young people, we are so creative. And these people are not really going to match you guys. Even the Gen X, like us, are not really going to match up with the are very innovative. Younger people are very creative. Younger people are thinking day and night. So there is no way the old school, Moi, Ruto, is a child of Moi. He was mentored by Moi, right? So even the strategies he's using right now is Moi strategies. But that's not going to last forever because things are completely changing. I remember in 1914 when we had the Great War, aka the First World War. Some of the strategies that were being used were posters, and these posters had propaganda. And I remember the United States, when they wanted to enlist young men to the army, they had to use posters to convince them to go and participate into war, right? And we do have right now is the technology. The technology we have at the moment should be a very powerful tool that will enable us even to move forward. And one of the previous speakers actually did mention and said, we need even to come up with strategies. How can we change the narrative? How can we engrave, paint the picture of Ruto in the minds of Kenyans so that even when they're going to vote in 2027 or whichever year they're deciding, people already know why they are going to vote. So they're not just going to vote for the sake of it at Mtuetu, but they know what they've gone through, the experiences they've gone through, and that is actually going to change their perception when it comes to these politicians. So, what am I trying to say here? uh, I know the previous speakers might say that, oh, whatever you guys are doing here will not work. No, no, let me tell you right now, Gen Z have changed the political landscape of Kenya completely. Even the positions that you see the ODM has benefited right now from the government, we are calling the broad-based government. This is as a result of Gen Z. Tell me where broad-based government would have come if it was not for Gen Z protests. Tell me. So don't give up because what you guys are doing is very powerful. Even the conversation we are having on this space, by the virtue that we are discussing these things on this space, it is giving Ruto sleepless nights. He's not happy. That's why even he's sending people right now to infiltrate this spaces. I was listening to K24 spaces, and I'm very observant. I'm a researcher, by the way, and I observe how people participate in these spaces, and I can tell someone who have a certain mindset that it's like they've been sent to infiltrate these spaces, and even the speakers. The host of these spaces, they know. So they will be bringing these people into these spaces, right? They are dividing us, right? So the only my concern is they should not like Fabish. So if they buy fish, they can't buy KT, they can't buy these influential guys that we have right now. They will be finishing us because we need that keeps on changing, right? Who knew Gachagua will be impeached in 2020, 24? Who knew? Who knew? 2 years ago, you wouldn't have told. So, imagine, right? But here we are, right? So politics keep on changing. So young people, one thing that I'm happy about and proud about the Gen X and Gen Zs is that you guys have come up with a new energy. and these people are struggling to match up your energy. So let's keep the spirit going. Let's not give up. Let no one tell you, oh, what we are doing here is nothing. No, the conversation has to keep going. We have to keep on talking about these things. If we do not talk about it, I'm telling you, that's the end of the movement, because the conversation has to keep going. And I'm glad we have this freedom of speech where we can now express ourselves without really having to fear. Of course, yeah, some people, they're being targeted and so forth. That happens, right? But you can see the space we have right now. It's giving us freedom to express ourselves. Such a thing could have not happened during the time of Moi, right? But now, here we are. We are talking about these things. We're expressing ourselves. So let's keep the spirit moving. This is a spirit that will never die. People will die, people will leave the movement, but the spirit will keep moving until we reform our country, until we redeem our country. And that time is not too far from now. It's very, very soon. I'm telling you. The Traore of Kenya is just somewhere, and that person is coming up. So, guys, thank you so much for the space, Fabish. Thank you for keeping this conversation alive. I'm very proud, and we people of diaspora, we are here to support, and don't be afraid. Fabish, even if when you need bundles, when you need internet, don't be afraid to ask for tip jar, as long as you're being honest. The only thing we refuse is people who are masquerading, collecting money for their own selfish gain. But if you are honest, Fabish, we will support. If you tell us, man, I need 100 bob ya kununua bundles, you are not being fake, you are being real, and that's what we need. We need people who are genuine. We don't need people who are using others or using opportunity. We call them opportunists. They're using the Gen Z movement as a way to solicit for money. And those are liars, those are schemers, those are the kind of people we don't want in this space. If you are real, the people of diaspora, we are very, in fact, there are no people who are actually concerned about what is happening in Kenya. I'm not saying that Gen Z are not concerned. I know you are, because this is your movement. But we are saying we are so much concerned to support whatever is actually happening. And that's why I was saying in a different movement, I go to different spaces. And this is what I was saying, young people. If we can have a trust fund, instead of sending this money to individuals, and we cannot actually account for this money, why don't we come up with a committee, Gen Z committee? We can call them Gen Z committee. They can be vetted, right? We can vet them. We give them this job, and we can even pay them so that they don't go into the tip jar and steal our money, right? And we send money to that investment. They can open a bank account so that when we need a movement, when we need a campaign, when we need KOT to go and do civic education in Bungoma, as he's doing, he can come, we give him money, go to Bungoma, do civic education, bring us receipts, account for it, have a committee, let's have an accountant, and who can actually go through this account so that we know the money we are sending can be accounted for. Because the problem we are having right now is trust issues and accountability, and that's what people don't want. People just want, oh, send me money, I need to buy a computer, send me money, I need to buy. So when you say you want to buy a computer is 30,000 shillings. And you're being sent almost 500,000 shillings. Where does the rest of the money go? Because that's the problem. We don't want to take advantage of the situation. We need to help. We need to support. We need to be real. We need to be honest. And this is the problem we are having with our Kenyan people, because they are never honest. Even in circumstances where someone is dying, you don't want to help. You want, first of all, to steal their wallet before you can save them. This is the mentality we need to kill in our movement. So let's stand up for this movement. Let's be honest. Let's have a strategy, as some of you are saying. And this one of the strategy, young people, we need money. There is no politics. Even here in the United States, I'm telling you, I've been supporting the presidential campaign by donating every week, right? So you can see everyone needs money. So you can imagine even in Kenya, we still need people need money to run this campaign. So there's no way you run a campaign without money. So thank you so much. I'll let other people to take the space, publish the speaker panel, and my fellow listeners. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Let's keep the conversation going. Asante sana.
Fabish, if I can just say something to Isaac, if Isaac was the one who was speaking before, yes, we've been saying this, and if there's one thing I can tell you that you've hit the nail on the head is that, yes, we need resources, but also I think on your end, because I can tell you're of the generation above us. By us, I mean millennials, because I'm not a Gen Z, I'm a millennial. We need organization on that part, because you guys have the resources and you guys have been sending money back home, but it's been supporting the wrong people. It's been supporting and I've been saying here, and Fabish and Generali can attest to this, that we need money to be going to the most important places. But I still don't have that idea of how we can manage this accountably, while also keeping the people safe and secure. So I support you 100%. And for you guys, get organized. Please supply us with we can strategize and we can organize in the streets. Yes, we have the energy and the brains to do that in the streets and also online. But you guys, we need you for the support, financial support, and also after the movement has achieved whatever it has achieved. I can tell you that we the young people, the things that we do not know about global politics, we shall need the generation above us to guide us in such things. So for you, it is not only now. We need you here and after. Thank you. I'll drop off and...
Thank you, Pioneer. I can't agree more. Yes, the movement need everyone. We need the experts. We need those people to bring the expertise. We need resources. We need the knowledge. We need the wisdom. I think, Brian, you had spoken earlier because it's time for Fundi. Brian.
Yeah. I was just, I wanted to add something on what the previous speaker was saying. I'm assuming everybody here understands how crypto and how the Bitcoin operates. I'm not saying I'm not promoting Bitcoin or a coin or a meme coin. What I'm trying to say is the idea. So what happens is it's a decentralized way, or it's a way whereby there is no central authority or figure. I can give an example here, and I'm not saying that he is corrupt or whatever. Morar Kebaso. This is an example. I'm not saying whatever it is that he's doing, I don't know. I also happen to send him some money. So now you see, the issue here is transparency and accountability. So people, where I feel like the concern that comes, that people have with an individual like Morara is they don't know how these funds get used. So what happens is if, now everybody is saying, oh, we want transparency, then, he equally says, okay, I'll put my M-Pesa, whatever transactions and etc. But then you realize that even if M-Pesa, the M-Pesa ledgers are put out there, it might be very hard for anyone to really pinpoint that clearly 10,000 was used to buy this, 40,000 was used to buy a computer. It's very difficult. Now, when you look at cryptocurrency, they in a way, they have found a way of addressing this problem. I'm not saying we stop using Kenya shillings, we go to Bitcoin. No, I'm just talking about the idea. So what happens is that there's everything is decentralized. So everybody is equal and everybody sees everything. So for example, we have some 500,000 that has been put in some account. Everybody sees that. And everybody sees that. And if some money is to be spent, people need to agree. So everyone has to agree that, you know what, yes, we need to buy this laptop. And then how do you know that you're buying a laptop? You're buying a laptop because the laptop has been tokenized. So for example, you cannot just go and take some 50K and say that this I bought a laptop. No. What happens is that hiyo pesa inakuwa tokenized such that kama ni it's a shop or it's an electronics shop, hiyo ndio inapata hiyo pesa, and in exchange laptop or whatever or computer is given. So if a replica or you know something that can be built in that manner, Mchanga has a semblance of that, whereby if you are trying to fundraise, you nominate treasure. They call treasurers. So now you have treasurers. So when money comes in, you need more than one treasurer to say, yes, we need to send money. And Mchanga sends money to a bank account. That's why you see, what's the name of that lady, Hanifa. Everybody used to talk, you know, oh, she's stealing money, etc. And I was like, it is very unfortunate because in Mchanga, that service allows people to fundraise, and they also want to understand, okay, you fundraised 20 million Kenya shillings. Where is this money going? So there's that component of people raising raising funds in you know, centrally, and managing those funds centrally, like everybody understands where these funds are, how much they are, and how they've been spent. So that being very granular and open and transparent, if the same idea, I think, if it can be put into such kind of movements, it's going to be, according to me, I feel like many people are going to raise, they're going to be comfortable. Those who want to contribute, they're going to be comfortable in contributing. And people can actually see where the funds are going, and they can even give suggestions to where the funds need to go. So I thought it was important to share that.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. I think it's Fundi was Thamos, then to DK Gift.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nimewasalimia sana. Thanks, Fabish, for hosting us today. And thanks for all those who found time to be here. Tumetoka mbali. That's what I can send. Tunaenda mbali zaidi. Let's not give up. Let's not tire. Doing good and taking on the government, because that's what we can do best. Currently, hatuna opposition. Everyone knows that. The only opposition in Kenya is the concerned citizen, not everyone, because kuna watu wenye who are praising the government because of peanuts. Wengine they just blind. So kwa sahi, there's a question I had about hii mambo ya Cherargei. I don't know who can answer that. Like, if this bill pass and then it's working, does it guarantee the former president like another rudi to vie? That's the question I had, because I was asking myself, can Ruto risk to vie against Uhuru Kenyatta if it happens like imepita? Like, I don't think they're interested. Is the only thing they're doing is just testing waters. Leo mmeona hapo KICC, mtu anaamka very early in the morning kuambia Wakenya, you need to go outside the country. Like, hawana uwezo wa kutengeneza jobs in Kenya to create them, but wako na uwezo to use our funds to fly outside the country kuenda kututafutia kazi. Reason being, you know, Ruto is scared of the young generation. He knows we are the only people who can go out the streets and demonstrate, who can decide, like, if it is dying, we can die for others to survive. Lakini anajua, like, if I get these people out of this country, we can do anything we want. Like I was telling some people, tusidhani eti Ruto hawezi ongeza miaka. He can with Raila's support. Ruto knows kununua Raila si kazi ngumu. That's why Ruto is pushing so hard to control the airport, control the health care, to control mambo na stima, because anajua hapo ndio pesa mingi ya Wakenya iko, and through that he can buy anyone. Sahi mumeona ODM is pushing kuleta Junet awe kwa interior CS, and my fellow Kenyans, I can tell you, mimi nikiangalianga Junet, it will be the worst nightmare kumwona mingia interior CS if it happens. Wamekubaliana ule jamaa mimi nikimpima ni mnyama tu, but I hope that we rise up and fight for what belongs to us as Kenyans. Kitu ingine, please, kama una ID, try your best. Kama una, tusiseme like wamekazia kupata ID, just go and apply. Let it take forever. At least be in a position like I applied, ninaingoja. If you have that ID, end up kwenu. Kuna IBC hapo. Like nimetembea huku penye niko Kisii, Bonchari. I saw the offices are open. So if you want to register, you can do it. Tusiangalie huko juu sana. Let's arm ourselves. As we keep on pushing like you jamaa atoke, let's also have a plan B. Ruto kuiba kura is because hiyo margin inakuanga kidogo sana. That's why I'm very comfortable. Ruto is so comfortable that in 2027 hana competitor. The only competition yenye Ruto anaogopa 2027 is the young generation. Like vijana wakiamua tu wachizi, they can back anybody to the bone. Like if shit happens, it happens. So wenzangu, kitu nasema, let's not give up. Hizi spaces tusizidharau, keep on hosting. Mi najua kuna mtu atasikiza kitu tunasema hapa and like this thing makes sense. I know every day we have new people joining spaces na wanataka kusikia watu tunasema nini. And whenever you have a chance, venye naona Mabonga anafanya, ambia watu kweli. You know, sometimes I ask myself, how many of us in this space wanaweza simama ground waambie watu why we are fighting? How many? Kama ujui ni nini inaendelea, wewe unasikianga tu stop Adan, you right, Ruto must go, you right. Ruto must go, ambia watu wa kwenyu mbona unataka Ruto aende. Kuna mtu tu anasema nyinyi ni watoto, amejui kitu unafanya. Tell them the health system is screwed up. Waambie watu wenye wameajiriwa sahii hawana pesa. Niliona mtu ameandika 300,000 wanakukata 45k. Like tunaibiwa tu, yani ukiona, and there's nothing we can do. Unfortunately, Ruto anajua hao wabweke online yaishe, tukifika elections watabweka, they won't vote. Can we change that narrative? Wajue watu wanabweka and then we surprise them. You know, like that 25th, it was a surprise yenye hakuna mtu mwenye alikuwa ametarajia, not even Ruto, not even Raila angemuadvise. So we will keep on injecting where we can, we will keep doing the right thing. Ukiona you can support, hata kama ni hiyo mambo imesemekana ya data, let's do it. And if there is a way tunaweza pata njia ya kuwa na pesa, and then we account for it. Hata mimi I was like, huwezi niambia fundi nipatie 100 but usiniulize nimeitumia aje. Like, what is that? Hata kama ndakupatia 10 bob, niambie nilienda nikakunywa chai ya 10 yakaisha, is better. Na unionyeshe nilienda nikanunua huko. You know, the only thing that lacks in Kenya, more kwetu vijana, is trust. And the moment you lose it, that's all. Hakuna siku watu watakutrust. I don't think Morala knew hata it will last even like 2 months na amepotea. And hii kitu ndio tuko naambiana, please youth, let's not react na emotions. Yani kitu inakuja tu tunabebwa. For instance, Sikuwahi furahia kitu niliona ikiapa ni mambo na Rigiji. Rigiji wanapigana na Ruto, imeanza kwenda Mount Kenya, ninashangaa like mikutano imejaa na ni youth. Kidogo kidogo online tumeanza kusympathize na yeye. And I can tell you guys, hii masiku ya impeachment ingehappen like we voting, Rigiji angekuwa president. Reason, sisi ni wajinga. Watu wanajua enda huko lia. That's the tactic yenye Ruto alitumianga. Ruto anaingia hadi analia. Haki watu wanasema haki wamemsumbua, utampanguza tu machozi. I was saying here, God forbid, we might face a situation in 2027. Tumepewa option ya Ruto na Gachagua. Whom will you vote? You vote hao watu wawili wote ni maumbwa to forgive my choice of what. There is none mwenye ako na interest za Wakenya hapo. Ruto saa hii akatoka Rigiji akaingia, atakuwa tu ameingia asumbuane na wengine, handshake tena ya Raila ingie, because I can tell you Raila hatawahi toka kwa Kenyan politics, and whomever thinks that Raila anaenda AUC, forget about it. We are the main investment ya huyu mzee. Yeye ameenda huko, wafanye madili zao, atapewa kama ni 50 billion, aweka kwa mfuko na anarudi, atashindwa because wanajua Raila akishindwa, we will spend like 3 months tukiimba sasa ameenda Bondo, whatever happens, fuck it, tusiendane nayo. Rigiji hata akitupwa court, Rigiji ndio alikuwa anaambia watu finance bill hamtaona maendeleo. Wameanza kupigana sasa, sisi ndio wao, mbona wanasumbua mwingine? That guy is old, hata hafai kuwa kwa serikali. Please wake up. Na kama unapenda siasa and then you want to vie, please do it. Na ukiona a youth is vying, please support them. Kwa sababu tusidanganyane eti pesa itatumika Kenya. That's where we want to lie to ourselves. Like we can, even if tutafanya civic education ya you guys, money will take the center stage in 2027. Venye huyu mwenzetu wamesema kutoka ng'ambo, if there is a way, kama let me say kama ni Kisii, we want a youth, let's mobilize. Tuambiane how much do we want? Watu wanaiba pesa mingi, hatuwezi waweza, but tukiamua like huyo jamaa ameiba 100 million, let's raise even 10 million. At least tuseme Fabish ameenda mahali ku campaign, ule akitoa 500 acha yeye pia atoe 50. So that ukiingia kwa hiyo cheo, show people leadership. Nitaongeza baadaye juu nimeona wengine wanataka kuongea. Thanks.
Fabish. Wajiro.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes, my friend Fab.
Nani Ras umekuja?
Yeah, I'm back.
Sawa, relax hapo. Ngoja tumpatie DK and then you can continue Lyson then Chisabari.
Okay.
Acha tusikie DK.
Niaje Fabish?
Poa sana vipi?
Goja, hata usicheke kwanza, goja. Before I go on, may I request Isaac Ohando to mute his mic? His mic has a bit of feedback.
Oh yeah, Isaac. I don't know.
Isaac
alikuwa anatembea, maybe hata asikii. Isaac.
Labda hata asikii.
Wacha nimdrop alafu atarudi baadaye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fabish, I think you can drop me, Fabish.
No, just mute the mic. Just mute the mic.
Contribute.
Just mute.
Just mute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to leave because you actually talked about something that I'll pick on as my first point. Hata haikuwa part of submission yangu, but kuna kitu fulani aweza kuniongelea nitaitaja. Fabish. Today I have intentionally stayed away from your speaker panel because you and I go way back on these spaces. One thing we've always...
Is someone speaking? I can't hear anyone. It's just my side.
I'm speaking and I hope anyone else...
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you, Fundi.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't... okay. Let me drop you, Isaac, then you can come back.
I hope everyone else on the speaker panel and the listeners panel can hear.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I also realized how rude I am. I just walked in. Yes, Chisabari, someone is speaking. I think a couple of people cannot hear, but I saw lights on 100. All right, I'll just go on for those who are hearing me. My name is DK Gift. I'm sorry for being rude, not starting with my name. Good evening to every one of you, and I hope you're very well. I came in ranting immediately and telling Fabish that, and this is also because Rasdi asked me on the comment section, I was not avoiding the speaker panel for any reason besides what you and I, Fabish, have ever promised each other in other spaces we've been in, that we will never turn a space that we are having into a hoted podcast. Because sometimes some of us venye tunajuana, we are very passionate about what it is we want to achieve here. Whether we agree on the same opinions or not, we are super passionate about it. In the process of being passionate, emotion can have a very thin line in between. And in the process of being passionate and emotions being playing a part of the passion, turning the conversation to be about themselves. And so, someone like me, Fabish, Koino, Ayo, when we end up being on the mic, all of us, and we normally disagree to the point of you could think we are going to never ever speak to each other again, we can easily hold a mic and hold a space, and we're going to bore everybody else, and everyone else is here to listen to the conversation beyond what Fabish is saying as his opinion or what DK is saying. So how Fabish umenielewa from your point, eh? Because me and you, we always go at the end of it back. Now, before I go to my submission of today, which will still hit Fabish kidogo, I want to echo, I think it was Isaac who spoke about Isaac, and then Brian Osoro came and broke down something. Isaac started off by talking about finding a way to have funding and resources for the movement and what is being done here, and the dreams that we have for our country to be more accountable and more this and that with the money. And because I have just a little bit of knowledge from the back end of people that got involved in Mchanga and how they created the system, I've been laughing a little bit to myself, knowing that people don't understand that some of those systems, such as Mchanga, or even a very new one that has been made by some of our friends called Mkura, are working on that blockchain system, which has made some of those funny Kikuyu call them Kehiberania. Situations of things disappearing suddenly become less. All right. So I think a blockchain system will not only actually help in the funds, but though it's still very theoretical and can be turned practical for something as large as this, I think a blockchain would also sort of that system would also help to sort of like vet some viable proposals that would be coming to this group here, this wananchi system that has been made. Where, for example, if let's say it's a site that is run even from a digital communications perspective, it has the support of social media handles that then again push on about this particular place where wananchi have come together. This is where they put all their resources together. And this is where you, as a young man who believes you have a civic education exercise or civic education drive that you would like to do, it is called Fabish na Wananchi, you know, and you are targeting to go to all the counties, speaking specifically to farmers, especially in the counties where farming is eligible, and you want to talk to them about the agriculture bill, and this is what you are presenting, and this is a whole proposal you've prepared, and you present this to a group of persons, whether in a certain system kind of a way, and in that system, this large number of people can be able to come and say, yes, we like Fabish's idea. We do not like Fabish's idea. We like this one, we do not like that one. And it kind of would help in a way to also demystify which ones of these things are legit or not. In the same process, if you decided, okay, Fabish and his idea actually works, we see where he wants to go. He wants to go to 9 counties. He's going to town halls. He has organized some people on ground. He's going to have X amount of people. He's going to go to these halls. He's going to need X amount of money. And this is the kind of budget, and it has actually been verified throughout that entire system because it was a proposal that you sent. Whatever fundings that you have received, then you remain accountable because there's a system that is being followed. You need to give them back. Basically, that's what it is. And let me just leave it at that. I think it's very technical. A lot of people who've had it will easily dismiss it off and say this is some theoretical bullshit. We can't do all of this. We don't have time for all of this. But until we have time to do some things, the book, principle to principle, word to word, ink to ink, pen to pen, we're going to have a long way to go. Now, my submissions for today, wacha nikuja kwako Fabish kwanza. Fabish ni bro yangu mkubwa. Na wewe, among a few other people have taught me what we're doing here. I've talked about Rasji, I've talked about you, I've talked about a few other people that have been doing this before. Some we've come and we've met. The one thing I champion to you, to myself, and to everyone, and I'm continuously learning it as part of the Home Run with PP family, is to appreciate a certain level of how do I put it? Because I don't want to seem like I'm not attacking you and I'm not attacking anyone, but we need to embrace a certain level of political maturity that kind of allows us the ability to appreciate and accommodate the difference in opinion. Having gone out the last 2 times that guys have said, let's go to the streets, whether it was we are going to the street to protest or the very last one where we were going to the streets to honor our fallen heroes. To a personal opinion that unless we get to a certain threshold of more persons out on the streets, the protest or being on the streets may not work. But then you, Fabish, can have of a different opinion, and you've had it. We've talked about it before. I need to actually appreciate that you and I want to get to Nairobi town. But you are wanting to use a certain route, and I want to use a certain route. We both may not agree to use both routes, but we have to respect that we both want to get to the same destination. Now, let us not fight even before, and let us not demystify each other's roads by saying your road either is faulty than my road, or your road is going to take us longer than my road. Let us just appreciate, number one, the ability to agree to disagree, and then allow each other to hear through. For example, the many times I've heard you and Rasji talk about Sijui Kamilisha group. What the fuck are these guys talking about? We're trying to build vigilante groups and shit. But then there are more times I've listened to you and I've heard you speak about having small units that would help us, especially in situations where, for example, someone is being abducted and you're there watching it. And those ones you are calling in the villages and in the estates, kikundi fulani almost like ni kama unaongelea nyumba kumi kind of a situation, kind of a thing, Kivo, right? And before, I was very close-minded. I wouldn't allow myself to see what you're saying. But sometimes when I've allowed myself here, I'm like, okay, I definitely do not agree with going to Salimia MPs. I definitely do not agree with banning any of their houses and banning any of their cars. But I do kind of agree with what you're saying in as far as us being able to protect ourselves from these people who the government has clearly said, even we don't know them, they are not policemen. So since they are not policemen, you have clearly said they are goons and they are criminals. So those ones, I agree with you, Fabish, we're on the same page, that those ones you have to deal with them as the criminals they are. So now you see, if I've not allowed myself to have a little bit of an open mind, I wouldn't have had your opinion on that. And I'll still be completely closed on hell no. So similarly, when you hear me talk just a little bit about the difference of us, either my stand right now in going to the road, whether for protest or Mandamomno the day we are ready, and agreeing that we need to that day, hear me out first. See if there is a small part of mine that you could agree with. You and I, lastly, Fabish, were on the same boat talking about our dear friend telling us to give him the help, send him the money. He's not going to be accountable to anyone. I was among the people who were thinking, why are we beating Morara? I would hear people like Akina Kovido talking against him. I almost slapped him one time. We were actually having a coffee together. I almost hit the guy because I was thinking, you're an agent of destruction. You do not want us to go ahead. 3 weeks, a month later, we are here on the same page. Si wote tukiwa like, enyewe huyu jamaa ni kama kuna venye enyewe pia jamaa pia naona tuone kama sisi ni ile kitu, ni kama si ni matako yako kidogo. So my point is that we have to allow each other that. Then my last opinion on today's conversations is on what I think is one of the best ways that we can change all of this. These whole conversations about these civic educations and where they need to go and nini. The reason mimi najaribu kujiuliza ni nani exactly tunani kupelekea hii conversation ni because Fabish on Sunday when we were for anyone who had me talk before, Sunday mimi nilienda tao mapema. Nilienda mapema huko 7:30. Kwa Uhuru Park kuko na nilitoka nikaenda Mzuruch kidogo cause mi wala mistadanganya mi labda ni mimi ni mselfish kidogo but mi ni muoga. Roho safi mi ni muoga. I've never been really a Mandamomno person. That was the second time I was coming out like and I was very glad that I could be able to do it because job yangu ilikuwa imeniallow ningeweza kufanya hivyo. I remember one of the things nilisikia wasee wakiulizana in the process nikitembea nikirudi hivyo kwa mat. Kuna place nilienda kupita and by then commotions zilikuwa zimeanza ile pande nyingine ya tao. I remember nilisikia sio wameulizana a hawker place hapo hivyo Kimathi Street kuna msi anakuaga na magazeti mahali uza magazeti hapo nje na sasa sometimes usimama I think hapo hivyo Kimathi Street or somewhere usimama hapo hivyo kusoma hizo gazeti. So when I was passing by hapo mse mmoja akaulizana kwa nini aje nini inaendelea huko. Nikasikia mwingine amerespond and I think ni the vendor the owner gazeti. Sini jenzi sini karao wanakimbishana na jenzi zile mambo zao. It kind of hurt me slightly because I was like everything that every person is shouting about in Uhuru Park or on space or wherever, whether they're 18 years old, 30 years old, 50 years old, is for all of us. It's not a Gen Z thing. So do you mean to tell me there's still some people, even in this our Nairobi, who believe this is a Gen Z thing? Who believe this is a certain fight of a certain group of people against the government? If we're still there, that it means we have a lot of freaking work to do. Because even in that mtaa, in Shags, when I go there, most likely that is the same conversation those people have. Kwanza ukienda kule kwetu Murema in Kikuyu, they would say, Katari anakama hatangani anaforidhi kori ya Nairobi. Sini vijana wanakimbizana kule Nairobi na polisi. Bado kuna job hapo, bro. Mi bado ninaona kuna job hapo. And until that day, Fabish tutaweza kuget ule mama mwenye sasa anaitishwa sijui ni 7,000 ama ni 10,000 sababu linda mama iliondolewa. Wote watokea kwa rodi ka venye Human alikuwa anasema bra kando wacha melons ziongee. Until ile siku wale wazee wote na mama wazee wote na wakungwa wote wenye even the younger ones who are having to use dialysis 9,500 per session, 19,000 per week for dialysis. Until the day even that old guy seated at home who very soon who's limaing mahindi and mboga and very soon is going to start being asked for a freaking degree just so that they can be a farmer. Until they all become a part of this thing and it evolves and moves beyond being called vita ya vijana na gava, vita ya Gen Z na gava. Na appreciate kwenye Isaac ametoka na akisema Gen Z ili change conversation. I agree. But Gen Z walikuwa tu ile kibiriti. Wao walikuwa kibiriti, waliwasha moto ndio hiyo moto kaiende. Sasa moto itaendelezwa bado ni zile vibiriti kuwashwa, ama itaendelezwa na kila mtu kuongeza kuni from direction yake, kila mtu anaweka kuni zake. Have a lovely night watu wangu. Talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm still on my break. I hope to come back off my break of spaces by the end of the month. Asante Fabish, have a lovely night. Hey, sisikii Fabish. Aki, I hope siko najiongelesha. Mungu wangu.
Hey. Uko my brother, before my brother DK goes, yeah, I think Fabishako is held. And I think I saw something by DK, my good friend Risasi, and Kowino. Anyway, this is all I have. And this one, I beseech everybody. I beseech all my brothers. Na hiyo nitafanya tu as an appeal. And it is my prayer. Yeah? Ni matumaini yangu. Na ni maombi yangu ya kwamba Mungu atatusaidia. Mungu atatusaidia tukue pamoja. And it is my prayer that whenever we disagree in terms of our ideology, because this platform has brought everybody together here because we have a common enemy. That one we agree. Isn't it? We agree on that it is one common enemy ametuleta.
That's true.
Yeah. Very one. So if that is our common enemy, then hizi vitu zingine, there are things as men and very mature people, we can still sort them out.
Ras.
Yes.
Kwanza nilikuwa na refresh space. Wajua nani amenifurahisha sana. You know, DK is my younger brother. Always, yes, we are always on the same page, but it's only that we don't open those pages at the same time. Yeye huwa akianza na left, mi huanza na right. But huwa tunakutana hapa katikati. You know, we are all saying the same thing. Kwa sababu alafu ametoa very wonderful submission. You know, because actually he agrees, but ametuambia pia based on observation from the ground, of which ninafurahi. And everybody, even, by the way, those people that don't understand us, even Escowino sio tu kwamba alikuwa anatupinga. Even Ayo at some point lilimdrop because alikataa kukunywa maji kwanza na akasema tunatumia jaba. Nikamwambia kwanza tu kukunywa maji. But Ayo pia alikuwa anakuja same thing but on a different explanation. What we are saying is this decay. As much as we are doing civic education, kuna wengine wako kotini. The movement must be kept floating and alive. And the reason why we are here, tunasema kwanza, we need now to have a structure of the movement. Ili, hata wakati tunasema, kama vile Isaac alikuwa anasema, na watu wengine ambao walikuwa wamesema hapa, kwamba kusikuwa na watu ambao wanateka advantage, they come to the movement, wanajifanya mbele hapo, wanaanza kuchangiwa pesa kwamba wanafanya nini. At the end of the day, they take advantage of the movement. Some, they come and just want to create content. So, now when we have the seriousness structure of the movement, that people know that it is not here to, you know, for fun, because we are at war. DK, kuna vitu vingi ambao najua unaelewa sana when it comes to movement. Najua uje kwa, lakini you know a lot of things when, you know. So watu wakijua hivyo, hata vile Morara unaona vile amefanya. Kama angejua kwamba if I betray this movement, there are consequences. someone will never take that risk. But you know now when you're open like this, someone will just want to walk away, aone kwamba anapata fame, achukue kila anachukua na aende. Now kila wakati tunakaa tukirudi kwa drawing board. So that's why tukasema kina Keuti Sonko na wengine wako on the ground, na kina Dike na wengine. Na ni juzi Escowino alikuwa 5 counties huko Homa Bay, Migori, wapi. That is good work. Wakifanya nini? Wakieducate watu. But now as walikuwa watu wako on the ground, watu wengine wanakuwa kidnapped, abducted. Watu ambao they want to voice. Hata wewe mwenye uko on the ground ukipeana civic education, kesho unaweza kukua kidnapped and then we are derailed. Now we want to start restructuring ourselves, build this movement to have a shape, a collective voices. Alafu kutoka hapo sasa tumefanya agreement, then tunajua sasa kwamba okay, ikifika ground watu wa civic education, this team and this team and that team. Ikifika mambo ya legal representation, zile bills ambao we need to fight to fight legally, this team and that team and that team. And then now we have our security system as a movement. Say that hata tukisema kwamba kesho tunatokezea wale watu ambao watu tunajua kwa mstari wa mbele katika civic education na nini, we make sure that they are protected. And even these abductors know when someone have the system, security system yake, wanajua. They don't just come easy. They know. That's why Raila all this while amekuwa na thrive, because amekuwa amejiprotect na hawa ambao walikuwa anaita goons. But who are the goons? We are the goons ambao walikuwa wanatumiwa na hawa na siasa. But this time round now, we are not here kutumiwa. We are here sasa kujitumikia. Now, Ruto anatubombard na a lot of things, left, right, and center. Even us, we don't need to just sit down. Even us, we need to bombard him. How are we going to do it? Bila sisi kukuwa na structure. So, mimi nakubaliana na kila moja. Si ati kwamba nikisema kwamba niko radical. I know that hii movement inahitaji kila mtu. So, thank you sana DK.
Asante. Thank you, Fabish. You see what I just started by saying to everybody, that the one beautiful thing that we try to do is to have differences of opinion, but always find a place where you have a sweet spot that is an agreeing and that creates a unity of purpose. The unity of purpose, for example, like Rasji said, number one, we have one common enemy. One enemy. The enemy is not me, is not Fabish, is not who. We have one common enemy, number one. Now, number two, he needs to go. There is a place where people start disagreeing in as far as whether some agree whether he should go next week. Some say he will go 2027. Some say he's not planning to leave. And that's where now the conversation starts differing, you know. But if people can first start from agreeing that we do have one common enemy, we have different ways and opinions of how we want to achieve these things. Now, how do we look at it? It's like the way when you walk into a boardroom or a board meeting and you're a part of a department. If you've ever worked in a corporate space and you're probably like part of, say, the marketing department, like I've been several times, you have a communications person, you have a trade marketing person, you have a social media person, you have about 6-7 different people with different hats. And you all sit down and you come up with, okay, this is a marketing strategy for Fabish Limited, which is a beverage seller that has 2 energy drinks and a soda. How do we sell them? And everybody comes up with the ideas. And I think we should try this and we should try that. And in all the difference of opinion, everybody at some point, you all will need to unify and agree and say, okay, the point is, number one, we have to go to socials. So we'll go to social from this perspective. Number two, it's the same kind of a thing. So, Fabish, thank you for allowing these conversations to have like this. Of course, najua sometimes ayo anawakaga moto ile tunaitaka kuwaka moto ya dragon. Inafanya anajisahau. Tunaitaka moto ya dragon. Moto ya dragon inafanya sometimes anasema tu kitu hata mimi nasikia kama nitamgonga ngoto, but sana kumbuka ni bro yangu, unaona?
Sawa, sawa. Ngoja kwanza tusikie mrembo moja hapa. Alafu ndio turudi kwa Sebia, tukuje kwa Liza, tukuje kwa Ayo. Ayo amerudi back. Ayo is back. Ana, niliwaambia watu kwamba msione kwamba sisi tunapigana. This is called siblings rivalry, ambao kidogo tunaweza lumbana, lakini mtu mwingine hapo kanda asije kutuambia, because tunajua kwamba tunaenda safari moja. Yes, Ana, karibu.
Fabish, before Anna comes in, as your co-host, kidogo tu Hana, before uende, kabla tumalize hii vita ya hawa wanajiita sibling, very important, cause I think I found Ayo complaining on was it Ayo it was DK, and then I followed apata
Hapana, nani Ras ngoja.
I don't want to go to that. Let me say something.
Ngoja, ile kitu nataka kukuguide now.
pamoja, na wakati umefika wa kuagana. Tunasema ni asante, tumekuwa pamoja, na wakati umefika. Kuagana ni huzuni, ndugu, baki salama. Yake Mungu tutaonana. Kuagana ni huzuni, ndugu, baki salama.